Hey guys, this is Rajeev, and today we're going to be talking about offense and defense in policy. You've probably heard these terms at some point in your debate career, but today we're going to discuss precisely what they mean and how they help decide a debate round. Let's jump in. Offense and defense are a means of scorekeeping. This is important. If judges don't have a precise way of keeping score in a debate, their decisions can often seem unfair. Particularly in policy, an event which often has multi layered and multifaceted debates, the lack of a consistent judging norm can create frustration for competitors. Luckily, most judges in policy use the standard of offense and defense to judge debates. At the end of the round, the judges looks at the arguments presented by both teams and evaluates them formulaically. This will make a lot more sense once we actually define these terms, but the judge looks at the importance of AF offense minus neg defense and compares it to the importance of neg offense minus AF defense, and whoever has more quote unquote points on the scoreboard wins the debate. This is still an imprecise standard and leaves a lot of room for error, but the most technical judges are committed to this concept. That being said, especially at local tournaments, not every judge will be technically oriented or proficient. A good debater is able to adapt to these judges by understanding their preferences. In terms of offense and defense, this means that if a judge is less technical or less experienced with the debate, they are likely to give less weight to offense than a technical judge and a little bit more weight to defense than what I'll describe in this lecture. Anyway, let's look at what offense and defense actually are. Offense is a reason to vote for your team. It is a way to score points in the debate. Specifically, offense helps you prove your burden as relates to the resolution. In policy, that is normally the desirability or the undesirability of the plan, why the plan is good or bad. Without offense, you can't win the debate because, simply put, you haven't scored any points. If you didn't show any reason that the plan was a good idea, for example, the judge isn't going to vote affirmative. Makes sense. Defense, on the other hand, is a way to prevent the other team from scoring points. By showing that the other team's offensive arguments are either untrue or unimportant, you reduce the value that the judge assigns them. Defensive arguments can be really useful in winning a debate. If the other team's arguments have less value, it's obviously easier to win. But at the end of the day, defense is just a way to frame your offense as more important. Continuing our sports analogy, it is easy to win a game if you're shutting out the other team, but you always have to score some points to win. Let's look at some examples of offense and defense in the big picture. The affirmative normally introduces advantages into the debate. Advantages describes ways in which the passage of the plan would make the world a better place. Since the affirmative is introducing a reason that the plan is desirable, this is offense. The negative often introduces disadvantages, which describe harmful effects that could result from the plan. Since these are reasons that the plan is a bad idea, they are offense for the negative. The negative will also sometimes read counterplans, which describe how an alternative plan could achieve the AF's advantages without causing the harms described in the disadvantage. This example may seem less obvious, but counterplans serve as defense against the AF's advantages. Basically, they make the advantages non-unique to the affirmative side. Regardless of if the judge votes affirmative, endorsing the plan, or negative, endorsing the counterplan, the advantages will be achieved. Because a counterplan mitigates the value of the affirmative's offense, the advantages, it serves as defense. Some of you are probably wondering about other positions like critiques in theory, which includes topicality. I'll save discussion of what those two arguments are for more advanced lectures, but critiques normally contain a combination of offense and defense, while theory is all offense. One misconception, next, that I want to dispel is that defense refers to any time you respond to an argument. There are ways to respond to an argument that end up working as offense, depending on how you approach it. So if when responding to a particular argument, you find yourself saying things like, this is untrue, or unlikely, or unimportant, what you are saying is defense. If instead you say something like, this argument is a reason to vote for us, your response constitutes offense. An offensive response to an argument has a special name. It's called a turn. Suppose the affirmative reads an advantage claiming that the plan grows the economy. The negative could turn that argument by arguing either that A, the plan hurts the economy, or B, economic growth is bad. In both of those instances, the neg would be taking the AF argument about the economy and turning it into a reason that the plan is a bad idea, i.e., offense. Let's end this video with a short exercise. I'll say an argument, and you pause the video and decide if it is offense or defense. Suppose the affirmative reads an advantage that says that the plan prevents war in the Middle East. Is this offense or defense? The correct answer is offense. Preventing war is a reason that the plan is a good idea, which fulfills the burden of the affirmative, and so it is offense. Suppose the negative responds to that argument by saying that the affirmative makes war in the Middle East more likely. Is this offense or defense? In this case, it's offense, since the negative's argument, despite being a response to an offensive argument, proves that the plan is a bad idea. Remember our vocab word from earlier. This argument is a turn, in particular, a link turn. Suppose the negative reads another response to the same advantage, saying that war in the Middle East is unlikely. Is this offense or defense? This response is defense, since war being unlikely doesn't prove that the plan is bad, just that the advantage, which is about preventing war, is unimportant. Now suppose that the negative reads a disadvantage, saying that the plan collapses the economy. Is this offense or defense? This is offense, since again, it proves that the plan is a bad idea. Suppose the affirmative responds by saying that the plan doesn't cause an economic collapse. Would this argument be offense or defense? Here, it's defense, since clearly not causing an economic collapse doesn't prove that the plan is good. It merely shows that the plan isn't bad for the reasons that the neg says it was. Finally, suppose the affirmative responds to the same disadvantage by saying that the economic collapse caused by the plan is good. Is this offense or defense? This is offense, since the F would be arguing that the negative's claim that the plan causes economic collapse is actually a reason that the plan is a good idea. Let's recap. Offense and defense are a way for a judge to evaluate rounds. Offense is a way to score points by fulfilling your resolutional burden, proving the plan is a good or bad idea, whereas defense is a way to prevent the other team from scoring points. You need to score points with offense to win, but preventing the other team from scoring points with defense makes it easier for you to end up with more points than them by the time that the game is over. In understanding this concept, I would recommend that you focus less on the technicalities and more on the big picture. An understanding of the minutiae of debate comes only with time, but knowing the fundamentals will help you succeed from the get-go. Make sure that your offense burns bright, and your defense douses your opponent's argumentative flames, and your talent will surely shine through in debate rounds. See you all in the next video.